Hi, this is David again, and I received some videos and some comments from different people. And one of the standards that I use in my life and set my life by is when I hear people and their opinions, their experience, whatever, I like to know a little bit about that person. I don't have an encased belief that just because people don't have degrees or they're not famous or whatever, that their opinions are not important, and certainly could be true. However, when I read a man or a woman's resume that's extensive, I give a little more weight to some of the things they say. So the purpose of what I'm doing right here is because I've had responses and I've had some comments on my videos, and I have made one small video concerning my background and education, who I am, etc. Let me read my resume to you. Okay, qualifications. I was executive director of Tender Heart Ranch Incorporated, developed the mentally ill special education agency from the ground floor to conception. I was responsible for purchasing and developing the land, zoning regulations, drilling for potable water, etc. OSHA regulations, IRS, nonprofit compliance, federal, state, and local ordinances, including obtaining proper California group care licenses, zoning, as well as negotiating with contractors. I was responsible for submitting the proper information to licensing, California State, developing and implementing the operations manual and overall program design. I was responsible for the grant writing, funding, development, and acquisition of a 501(c) status, supervising a staff of 20 plus, and I was elected president of the Tender Heart Ranch Board of Directors. Wrote all the articles of incorporation for nonprofit status and coordination with the Paso Robles building inspection and occupancy law. I was a member of the community of Los Alamos. I was involved in the school site council, community involved, and was elected chairman of the school site council from 2003 to 4. These are not appointed positions, these are elected positions. In 1992, I have an MS degree in college teaching of behavior science from Western State University, Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Had a GPA of 3.8. I was nominated Academic Achievement Award and had a GPA in my master's at 3.89. I have 30 additional graduate hours in guidance and psychological services at Springfield College in Springfield, Massachusetts. And my GPA there was 3.7 at a master's level. I attended parts of West State College, Western Massachusetts, and did research on sudden infant death syndrome in coordination with Dr. J.B. Ryan at Duke University. I have a BS degree in social work and child development and family relations from Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah. My practicum was in the public schools with special education children. I also attended 1 year of Ventura Law School and have expertise in family law and discrimination. I also attended the Westfield State College. I was a licensed security officer in the state of Utah. I have my license number right here. My last 4 digits were 8012. I was a security officer here in the state of Utah. I have Homeland Security clearances to the Salt Lake International Airport tarmac. I have passed FBI and state child care background checks 3 times in California, 2 times in Utah, Kansas 1 time, Missouri 2 times, and Massachusetts 4 times. United States Immigration and Philippine Solicitor General's Office and the 10th District Court child background approval for adoption of foreign children. My employment was in Hudson, New York, adult care program in 1996, supervising and case management of seriously mentally handicapped adults. Since that time, I've taken several years off working on the Tender Heart Ranch project in Paso Robles, California. I was the director of a nonprofit residential center in Paso Robles called Tender Heart Ranch, president of the board of directors for mentally handicapped adults needing locked facilities and supervision. As a social worker, I worked at the Mental Health Association of Columbia County in New York. I managed caseloads of mentally handicapped adults, psychotic, schizophrenic, and psychotropic drug day supervision. I was a director of Hillcrest Educational Services at High Point Campus in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Supervised a staff of 80 plus and 40 plus adjudicated emotionally disturbed learning disabled teenagers. I managed to develop the Joint Commission Hospital accreditation status for that particular institution. I was a behaviorist at the private Colburn Schools Incorporated in New Marlborough, Massachusetts, supervised an expanded motivational system and total administrative duties, developed specialized behavior modification program, and research for most difficult behavioral clients. I was also director of Children's Community Services in Blue Springs, Missouri, overall development, staff supervision, referral system, and total administrative duties. Development of agency from the ground floor with licensing. With the state of Missouri, case management of teenage residential program children. Total legal and local public relations and licensing of the facility, all development of policies and procedures, manuals, training, hiring, etc. I was assistant director of Eagleton School in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. I had overall fiscal management of a $9 million operation, staff of 60, student count of 40, and all administrative duties as required. I stopped an IRS close down of that particular unit and returned the agency to fiscal health in less than a year. I was also Associate Youth Services in Kansas City Residential Treatment Coordinator, overall treatment planning and counseling of adjudicated teenagers in group homes, treatment plans, counseling, program development, educational group lectures. I also was a substitute teacher certified at Blue Springs and independent school systems in Missouri. College student training was Northeastern Oklahoma at A&M College, Miami, Oklahoma. Instructed under the supervision of Ken Jacks, marriage and family professor, taught human sexuality at the college level. I was an assistant alcohol rehabilitation counselor at Eastern State Hospital, Veneta, Oklahoma, group and individual counseling, recreation, lectured using AA principles and the 12-step teaching program, directed programming, taught, and did group and individual counseling of DUI imprisoned individuals. I was an insurance agent, licensed fully with Farmers Insurance in Thousand Oaks, California. I did agency development, supervised employees, interviewing, marketing, and sales. I was licensed in health and in casualty, most successful agency in the district. I was executive director of We Watch Child Care Centers, Newbury Park, California. Supervised staff, client screening, policy development and implementation, public relations and administration of the program, largest capacity 12 in a California license developed agency. In New England, I worked in Boston area. In Massachusetts, I worked for New England Mutual Life Insurance Company, research and development of an agency, supervised employees, marketing, interviewing, and sales. I was admitted to the $1 Million Roundtable Association, and was also Rookie of the Year for the Springfield, Massachusetts area. I was a supervisor of residential center at Children's Study Home in Springfield, Massachusetts. I was a supervisor of the Center for Emotionally Disturbed Children, responsible for daily operations, hiring, firing, supervising 25 employees, research, hand development of programs, lecturing, grant writing, report writing, and public relations. I was a key person to accomplish Joint Commission accreditation and status and licensing of this particular group care facility. I was a residential guidance counselor at Colburn Schools Incorporated in New Marlborough, Massachusetts. I was involved with research and development of programs, group and individual counseling, teaching, job training. I was WSI certified by the Red Cross, and I was a bus driver for special education children in that state. I was a behavioral specialist approved at Duke University. J.B. Ryan consulted on my .001 research and approved basically the PSI, research that I was doing for Springfield College. I also drove school bus for Clark School for the Deaf for special education, which is the largest and most famous deaf school in the United States. I was an alcoholic rehabilitation counselor at Wheeler Clinic in Plainville, Connecticut, directed feasibility study with regard to alcoholism, research and development, and developed a 12-step plan there. I was a college dance instructor at Brigham Young University and Arthur Murray in Salt Lake City. I worked for the College of Recreation Teaching in several sections of ballroom dancing at Brigham Young University. Now that's my education and my background a little bit. Let me give you some of the community service. Is this a person that you really want to listen to, or has a reason to have an opinion that has any weight? I owned and operated an ice cream truck company in Los Alamos, California from 2001 to 2003. I was elected to the executive board of the Proposal Review Committee of the Westfield, Massachusetts Area Office for Children. We managed $10 million there under my directorship. I also served as vice chairman of the same executive board. I was elected to the executive board. I was elected to the executive board and chairman of the legislative committee for the New England Association for Child Care in Boston, Massachusetts. I served as consultant to the New England Child Care Workers Association, and I was appointed to the Regional Review Committee for the Department of Mental Health Division of Drug and Rehabilitation in Springfield, Massachusetts. I also served on the Joint Review Committee for the local Department of Mental Health for Children's program. I was a guest lecturer at the Springfield College, Our Lady of the Elms College in Massachusetts, and the Group Care Licensing Division at Linden State College, and Northeastern Oklahoma Hospital Volunteers. Elected to chairman of the Los Alamos School Site Council and Committee. I served on the Mayor's Committee for Youth and School Site Council member in 2008. International invitation to lecture at the University of the Southeastern Philippines to the master's level graduates final on mental illness and special education topics master's program that the students at that university were graduating at a master's level. I've also done Holy Child University invitation to direct live radio with an audience of 85,000 capacity listening audience, and university endorsement of special education program. I spoke on that particular radio station in the Philippines by Holy Child University. I've done live television talk programs on sudden infant death theory in Springfield, Massachusetts. 2008 Rainbow of Angels Learning Center in Butuan in the Philippines. I was a lecturer and teaching teachers and administration on mental illness and special education in Butuan City Care Therapy Center. I was a guest consultant on autism and special education behavior modification techniques. I wrote a small book on sudden infant death syndrome with emphasis on neonate psychology and development. I was a volunteer at the Butuan Orphanage, and I also developed No Excuses in Salt Lake City, a courier company. I have references here. I'm not going to give out. I'm going to give out names, but I'm not going to give out their addresses because they're all over the world. Dr. Flamingo Gagar has given me a reference. Mrs. Eldemarder Gabor in the Philippines. Both of them. Attorney Patrick Baton in Butuan City in the Philippines. Here's another technical assistant in the Philippines. The founder of Holy Child University, Dr. Rafaldo. I've got a reference here from the bishop of the local church in Butuan. Also two here in the United States, not bishops, but other references, and Dr. Young Theo, assistant professor at Northeastern State University. So at this particular point, I'm going to close, and those that think they want to listen to someone else, great, turn me off. And I'm not popular sometimes with certain individuals, but I've spent a lot of time with education, and I've spent a lot of time in the Mormon Church, and I believe that I know what I'm talking about, but others may not believe that. So thank you very much. Appreciate you.